Okay.
On the
Let's
street.
go.
We're on the street.
We're on the street. Hiya, Nora. Good morning.
Hi,
Y'all
Bob.
got a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Where y'all at today? Word on the street.
Today we're at the corner of Chapel and Temple. We're at the bus stop down at the Green.
Oh, it looks so different. I can't really.
Really?
Yeah.
But we've got a guest here.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice to Yes, sir.
Hello. Can you start with introducing yourself?
I'm Jason. I come from Hong Kong and I'm a university student.
Beautiful. And what's the word on the street, Jason?
I say it's a pretty beautiful city, a small town. It's very different from New York City, where I just come from.
So what are you up to today? Where are you actually going?
Yeah, Yale University, of course.
Okay, got it.
I think it's the only thing that I will go to because it seems like I didn't find any attractions yet in the small town.
Do you have any ideas of how you think you will? Are you planning to just wander around or find people that can point you in the right direction?
Probably some students of Yale, actually, or maybe the staff at the visitor center.
And can I make sure, is the audio okay? Can you hear us? Because there are a lot of buses around.
Yes, I can hear. He needs to speak up just a little bit.
Okay.
Sure.
So you just got off how long was your flight?
It was 22 hours with one transfer.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Was that the longest flight you've ever been on?
Definitely.
That's crazy.
You're like
And
on
you're
off-
up now? Oh my God.
Right. Still awake. Yeah. How are you feeling?
It's pretty good. Because I'm an architecture student, so I'm used to working overnight. I'm working in the US time in Hong Kong. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. I like that. So are you coming to visit Yale to see whether you would want to pursue
Yeah, probably the masters.
Okay, got it. So you're just visiting.
Yeah, visiting.
Okay.
And also got some friends in Boston,
Okay.
like they're studying architecture in MIT as well.
What other schools are you considering for a master's?
Yeah, the big names that you know, Yale, MIT, Harvard.
Right. Okay. So what else is your plan for today? Are you also interested in seeing the rest of New Haven, or mainly focusing on just getting? Do you have a tour scheduled?
It's just my own itinerary, but I'll probably walk around to feel the people, feel the culture, the shops, because I really need to know what's New Haven like as a university city
Right.
versus those big towns in Boston or New York.
Do they know you're here? Like, does Yale know you're here visiting? Because you could go over to right over there on Elm Street, right over there, and get a tour. They'll give you a tour.
Is it a business center?
Oh yeah. Is there a visitor center for Yale?
Yeah, right there, right next to the graduate club.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
That's cool.
As an architecture student, what do you think of all of the surrounding buildings?
I just read the sign right there. It says New Haven was the oldest planned city in New York in United States. So I think it's like the raw state of city planning versus in New York City. We have very in New York City it's very systematic. You got streets running in different directions. Whereas in New Haven it's more like a small town, basically, like a rural area.
All right, so let me understand this. So you just flew from Hong Kong
Yeah.
just to come to New Haven, and then you're gonna go to Boston and you New York, or what? Explain your trip.
No. First, I arrived in Washington, and then I go up to Philadelphia, and then New York City, and now New Haven, and then Boston. So it's like going to the north.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you are just doing some traveling.
That's crazy.
So now it's my fourth stop already.
Whoa. Boy.
So what do you think so far?
I think it's for Washington, for DC, Philly, and New York City is quite the same like Hong Kong. Very city. People walk quite fast with a very developed transit system. For New Haven, right now I feel like it's really a rural area.
Yeah.
No topics. No cars. with other Filipino people.
Do you
think-
prefer that, or like being in a
I'm
more-
not sure yet. I need a day
you have
to
to live
to
here?
explore.
You have to try it out?
And people look, I think they look more like from the rural side. Like they do not look like the city people. I feel
I
like,
love
I'm not sure.
that's funny. Wow.
And do you have like a special interest within the field of architecture? What are your study plans? Your
Yeah.
Academic
Or long-term
plans.
goals too.
For architecture, like in Hong Kong, architecture is something that more tied to the real estate. So it's more about money making in Hong Kong. But then if I can pursue architecture in the US, it's quite different because in the US, in architecture means technology, looking for new building methods. This is quite different from Hong Kong. So that's why I'm going to the US to try to meet students where they have different focus, although we are also architecture students.
Do you have an idea yet if you want to stay in the US long term, or if you just want to kind of do the studying and school here and then go back to Hong Kong?
Yeah, if I'm going to have my master's in the US, I'll probably work in the US.
Sure. That makes
It's a path for architecture students.
Yeah.
Like where you take masters is where you work.
Okay,
got it.
cool.
And so
Terry,
you-
any questions?
you are
Yeah.
so are you enjoying this trip? Because you seem so young to be all by yourself going to all these cities.
He's 21.
Yeah, I think I enjoy it. It's quite easy to adapt for a city. And also there are a lot of bikes, so I can just cycling around the city.
Yeah.
It's quite convenient.
Wait, so
Wow.
you're saying that you've spent time in New York City before, or only during your?
I spent 4 days already.
Okay, 4 days. So you haven't been to the U.S. before this trip that you're taking?
No, I never did.
Whoa.
Really?
I only stayed in Asia for like 21 years. Only district like outside Asia.
Wow.
Mm,
This is a big
My
trip.
God.
right.
Have you learned anything
So
about
calm.
yourself? Traveling can be an empowering thing.
I think using English only in my life because I only speak English right now. Also, the people is very diversified in the US. Sometimes they can be crazy people. on the street. Yeah, especially if
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, because I study architecture, I always go back school in late night. So I'm really trying to explore is it what's nighttime in the US. Are there really any crazy people out there? But right now, I feel like it's quite safe actually.
Are there not crazy people where you're from in Hong Kong?
I think in Hong Kong, people are more introvert. The Asian usually more introvert because they're not good at expressing themselves.
Wow.
You're very eager to
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
All right. So you have friends somewhere in the United States. Like you have friends in
Yeah.
Boston, you have friends. So they know you're coming.
perhaps you
Yeah,
could say.
then because right now it's the summer break, so I think they're back to the home country. Like some of them are my ex-colleagues in internship.
Okay.
Yeah, some are senior students of my school. Like they have masters outside Hong Kong as well.
Where did you study for undergrad?
The University of Hong Kong.
Okay.
HKU.
So how long are you here for? Like how long do you where do you end up? Like where else are you gonna go? What how long are you here?
Okay, it's actually a very long story. Okay. So like the reason I go to the US is because I got an exchange offer in UC Berkeley.
Okay.
So right now I first fly to the East Coast for a personal trip, and then I'll be going to Berkeley to have my exchange semester.
Oh, okay.
Going back- yeah, I'll be back to Hong Kong next year's January.
Okay, so you haven't actually completed your undergraduate degree
I
yet.
haven't. This is my
Okay.
last year, senior.
So you'll do an exchange trip to an exchange semester at Berkeley, go
Yeah.
back to Hong Kong, and then you're looking at your master's.
Yes.
Okay, got
I
it.
always try to avoid the whole itinerary because it's too difficult to explain.
Yeah.
But then if you ask about it, I'll talk about it.
Wait, so
Have you
after
been to
this,
California?
Yeah.
No, I have never been there.
Oh, well,
Never
you,
been to
you,
the US.
So like I'm
That's
going around the
Yeah.
whole United States.
oh man, you are better than some citizens.
That's crazy.
So when are you going? I'm trying to get the timeline straight. When are you going to California? It makes it sound like we're stalking
For
you or
California,
something.
it's next Wednesday.
And you're in New Haven until next Wednesday?
No,
Oh.
New Haven is just one day.
Oh,
Because I feel like New Haven
one
is
day.
pretty small.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
you can see all of it in
Yeah.
24 hours.
so that's why I'm doing a day trip.
Okay.
Got it.
Now I'll go back to New York City and then move to Boston and fly to San Francisco.
Okay. New Haven, New York City, Boston, San
Yeah,
Francisco.
that's right.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. And
That's
so, what do your parents say about this trip? Like, are they nervous? Do they worry? Do they give you a credit card and say, "All right, just call us when you need us"? Like, what? How does this work?
Well, yeah, of course they did. You know, Asian parents, they care a lot about the kids. So yeah, they did give me maybe money and, you know, always tell me to call them
Mm.
when needed.
Are you sending them selfies?
A little bit, 1 or 2 per day.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
So
a good
Asian
thing.
parents really talk a lot about their children.
Do you have siblings?
I have a younger brother.
Okay.
He's studying in Hong Kong.
How did you decide architecture? How did you decide that that was the thing that interested you, or that you just wanted to pursue as a occupation?
Yeah, but like in Hong Kong, when I was in high school, looking at what to study in university, I think like architecture is the one that suits my interest the most.
Mm.
Like I like doing drawings, art stuff, but then I also study some science subjects in my high school, physics, chemistry.
Okay.
So if you talk about combination of all, it would probably be architecture.
Right.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay.
So what do you make of in Hong Kong all that new architecture? Like, you know, Hong Kong is pretty modern with tall buildings.
Yeah.
And losing a lot of the ancient historical buildings. What do you think of that? I mean, do you think there should be more preservation of the old buildings, the ancient buildings, or should you just keep building these modern, tall monster buildings?
Leading question.
Right.
No, I think for Hong Kong, there's no way because it's really small. Right now in the US, I walk like 25,000 steps a day.
Hmm.
But then in Hong Kong, I only do like 5,000 a day.
Hmm.
And for me, in my neighborhood, I also live at about 40th floor. My home is at 40th floor.
Okay.
40th
Whoa.
floor.
40th, bro.
It's-
That's
it's-
crazy.
It's very common. It's very common.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, so every building is at least like 50 to 60 stories,
Hmm.
even in the residential area.
That's
So that means we really don't have any space. And Hong Kong is also very hilly, a lot of mountains. So yeah, there's basically no way. And the government is actually talking about another reclamation project right now.
Hmm.
Like you can see that they are trying to seek land on the water instead of, excavating the mountain.
Right.
But US is really a big flat plain of land. So it's pretty easy to do all these conservation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Don't have to worry quite as much
The Hong
about
Kong people just
overpopulation.
don't care. Efficiency and money, yeah, and
the way to go.
accommodate more
So,
people.
yeah.
So before we let you go, how have you been eating and what have you been eating? Have you been trying all kinds of food? Because New Haven is a big food town.
To be honest, as a solo traveler, you have some options cut off because you won't go to fine dining just by yourself.
Hmm.
At least for
Good.
me. At least for me.
That's true. That makes sense,
I
though.
do it. A lot of burgers, pizzas. I would say they are more heavy compared to Chinese food.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, so I really sometimes I just go to Pret Adventure
Yeah.
just to eat the vegetables.
Hmm.
There's really no
Well, we've got quite a few good Chinese restaurants in town. So like just across the green, there's Taste of China. But if you go over in Audubon, there's a little Asian market. And in the back, they have a great Asian restaurant. And then next door, there's an Asian restaurant, Chinese restaurant. So
Okay.
yeah. So if you get a little homesick, there's some places that will give you some authenticity.
Take a break from English.
So you can stop eating all them damn burgers.
Cool.
Any final questions, Babs?
No, I want you to have a good time and be safe. And you know, Nora and Maya, you know, give them some directions about where to go, and so you can spend some time here, because I think you got a beautiful day, and it's a great city to wander around and explore.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We
thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you so
Back
much.
to you, Babs.
Yeah, I love
All
this
right.
adventure. That is so. This is how we want to raise our kids to be. We want them to go into the world and just see it and be in it. I was like that when I was a college student, except I did it low. Yeah, no, I went all through the Caribbean like that. So just get on a plane. Those days you could just get on a plane for pennies and you didn't need a passport. You could just go. So God bless him. I'm excited.